One of the most remarkable shrines in the British Isles is that of Saint Melangell, some 25 miles northwest of Welshpool. It's hidden away in a remote and beautiful part of Wales. Saint Melangell lived in the 6th century, an Irish princess who fled an arranged marriage and lived as a hermit for 15 years. One day, the Prince of Powys, Brockwell, was out with his hounds hunting a hare. The animal fled to Saint Melangell for refuge and hid in her dress. Brockwell commanded Melangell to release the hare, but instead she told the dogs to flee, which they dutifully did. There are many references to animals obeying saints who have achieved great holiness. This was a natural order of things before the fall of man. Brockwell was so impressed by her spirit that he asked for her hand in marriage, but she refused, wishing to continue her life as a hermit. Brockwell respected her wish and gave her the valley as a place to live, asking her to build an abbey there. Her holiness attracted many disciples. As for Brockwell, he went on to become King of Powys and married Ardyn Benassigil, a daughter of King Pabba, who had fled from his kingdom in the north and settled in Powys. One of their sons, Derfel, fled the royal court to become a monk. Brockwell pursued him and tried to bring him back, but eventually relented. Derfel became abbot of the monastery in Mayford. When Brockwell died, Derfel's brother became the king. However, when he died, his widow attempted to marry Derfel so she could remain queen. He refused and was hunted a second time. Eventually he had to flee to Brittany, where he founded a monastery at St Suliac. Saint Melangell's original shrine was built around 1160 to house her relics. It was destroyed by the Reformation in 1561. The shrine was rebuilt in 1989, using mostly the stone blocks from the original shrine, most of which had been dumped in the graveyard. In the same year, the semicircular apse was rebuilt. Bones had been found there in 1958 in a lead casket and were identified as belonging to a woman around 5 feet tall, most likely those of Saint Melangell. The relics were placed inside the shrine. The gravestone in the apse is likely to be that of Saint Melangell. Her feast date is the 27th of May. Saint Cadfan was a grandson of Bwric II, a king of a part of Brittany called Cornwall. The land takes its name from Cornwall in England, as it was settled by people from that region. 3 of Bwric's sons went on to become saints. One of his daughters was known as Saint Gwen, the Three-Breasted. She was Cadfan's mother. Cadfan sailed from Brittany to Wales with 12 disciples. He landed at Twin, just north of Aberystwyth, where he founded a monastery. Later he founded another one on Bardsey Island, which became a major monastic centre. There was a large active monastery there until it was destroyed by the Reformation. St Cadfan's feast day is the 1st of November. 2 of Cadfan's disciples were Mael and Sullivan. The church at Corwen takes its name from them. It is an ancient site with a pre-Christian stone dating from about 1000 BC, on which a cross was later mounted. St Mael later moved to Bardsey Island with his master Cadfan. St Derfel was a cousin of Cadfan and also came from Brittany. It is worth noting that Wales and Brittany shared the same language at that time, Brittonic, making mission much easier. The church at Llandderfel, meaning the Church of Derfel, is famous for its wooden horse. Originally it had a rider, an image of Saint Derfel, which was venerated on his feast day, the 5th of April. However, during the Reformation, the image of Derfel was seized on command of Thomas Cromwell, the chief minister of Henry VIII. It was taken to Smithfield, London, and used to build the pyre of Father John Forrest, a Franciscan monk, who was burnt alive for refusing to recognise Henry VIII as the leader of the English Church. The wooden body of Derfel was taken to the pyre tied with 3 ropes and given a mock execution. Father Forrest was the confessor of Catherine of Aragon, whose marriage to Henry was annulled. Llanderfel Church is also known for a mystic called Gawnor Hughes, who lived in the 18th century. She would pray for hours on end and was famous for her ecstatic trances and visions. She fasted from all solid food for the last 4 years of her life. Her gravestone was lost for many years, but was found in 2006 and can still be seen in the churchyard. About 10 miles north of Llanderfel is St Mary's Church at Betis Gwerfyl Goch, meaning Prayer House of Gwerfyl the Red Head. Gwerfyl lived in the 12th century and was a princess of Gwynedd, a kingdom in northwest Wales. She was the granddaughter of King Owain Gwynedd. The church boasts a remarkable piece of Welsh history, a carved wooden panel dating from 1492. It was rediscovered in a pile of rubbish in 1840. The central panel depicts the cloaked Christ at his trial, the words of Pontius Pilate written above him, Ecce homo, behold the man. St. John stands to the left, the Virgin Mary to the right. The panels flanking them depict the hammer, the nails, and the crown of thorns. When we visited in the summer of 2023, the church was permanently closed due to the presence of bats. We obtained the key from the farmhouse over the bridge and on the left. It was sad to see the state of the church, a large dead bird in the centre and bat droppings everywhere. It seems incredible that the priceless wooden panel has been left there in such a sorry state, emblematic of the neglect of our Christian heritage. What the Reformation failed to destroy by its deliberate acts of destruction now risks death by slow decay. So, let us redouble our prayers to the saints of this land, that we may recover our Christian heritage. Let the rebuilding of Saint Melangell's shrine, which is attracting ever more pilgrims, be a foretaste of the future. As St. Arsenius of Paros said, the Church in the British Isles will only begin to grow when she begins to venerate her own saints.